Hello and welcome back to the Yin side. Thanks for joining us again. It's another dark, kind of rainy, almost winter day here in Vancouver, Canada. And when you do Yin Yoga, you don't have to, be barefoot. You can wear layers, you can wear socks. We don't generate any inner heat when we do the practice. So it's okay to keep whatever heat you have, especially as we head here in the Northern Hemisphere towards winter. If you're preferring to have some music, you can start the playlist now. We'll begin like we normally do with a few moments of just centering, arriving. But today, maybe a little different. If it's available to you, instead of sitting cross-legged, we're going to sit on our heels, more of a Vajrasana, or in the Zen, they call this kind of a Zazen sitting type position. If this just doesn't feel right for your ankles or it's too much stress in the knees, you can try sitting with a bolster or block between your feet. If that doesn't work, try stacking a few blocks together. Yeah, maybe a little bit higher. And if none of these options work, then just sit cross-legged. A little centering meditation movement with the breath. Bring the hands to your side. You can exhale here. This is a three-part Daoist breath. On an inhale, bring the arms out and up, drinking in the breath. And then as you exhale, bring the hands behind your head and then pushing the walls apart. Fairly stiff, muscular, almost jerky movement. Inhale, bring the fingertips to the shoulders. As you exhale, push forward as you round back. Drop your head down towards the chest. Palms turn up. Inhale, reach up. Now as you exhale, bow down to the earth into a bit of a child's pose. But then we flow again. Inhale, rising, reaching up, filling the lungs. Exhale, sighing it out to the side. Drawing in with the in-breath, fingers to the shoulders. Pushing out with the out-breath, rounding the back, head drops down. Palms turn up, inhale, reach up. You can even look up, a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, surrendering to the earth. Bowing down and rising again, 2 more times. If you know the dance, you can do it with your eyes closed. As you exhale out to the side. Drawing in. Reaching out. Lifting up. Bowing down. Last cycle, inhale, rising. Exhale to the side. Drawing in. Pushing forward. Reaching up. Bowing down. Then rolling up to sitting for a few moments of centering. Becoming aware of the earth beneath you. Aware of the sky above you. Becoming aware of the space all around you. Temperature of the air against your skin. And the light touch of your clothing. And to all of this, add an awareness of the breath within you. Noticing what happens as you happen to breathe. Couple more breaths. And opening your eyes. Bring the legs out in front of you. Massage the knees, circle the ankles. So for today, our journey is going to take us to deliberately target the hips and the legs. We'll also work a little bit on the upper body. But those will be the main targeted areas. And we're going to start just where we finished in sitting on the heels. But we're going to come into child's pose. So sitting on your heels, knees wide apart, and to your own degree, allow yourself to come forward onto your elbows. Maybe resting your forehead onto your forehand, your arms. Another option for many people, they prefer to rest on a bolster. And you can have the chest on the bolster, head to a side. You can have your elbows on the bolster. Just get to that place where you feel there's a bit of a challenge. As a brief review, remember there are 3 principles to the Yin style of practice. The first principle is every time we come into a shape, into a posture, an asana, we go to that first stopping point, that first edge. In child's pose, it's not very deep. We're not asking a lot of the tissues yet. We're just gently getting into some of the targeted areas that we're going to work a little bit more deeply today, mostly the hips. Once you've come to that edge, then you become still, which means not too much fidgeting. You can move a little bit to adjust, to find that nice place where you can stay for a bit. And then the third principle is time. We're going to be in these poses for a while. Now in Yin Yoga, we're not trying to be comfortable. This is not restorative yoga where we're trying to take a lot of stress off the tissues. We just want to get to the place where there is some challenge. We don't want to be so uncomfortable that we can't stay here. We want to be able to feel something. And generally, after a little while, you might find the body's opened up. You've been at that first edge for a while. Now maybe you can go a bit deeper. Since today we're targeting the hips and the legs, it's not necessarily to get your chest closer to the floor, but see if you can just push your knees maybe a little bit wider apart. Start to abduct the legs. So then you might start to feel a nice tugging to the inner groins. Some people may start to feel some compression, some resistance in the back of the hips. So just go to the place where you're feeling some challenge there. And we'll wait here for a while. And we call this practice Yin Yoga, which is kind of strange because yoga is an Indian word from South Asia. It's in the Sanskrit, means, well, it has 40 different meanings. It can mean union, it can mean a musical scale, it can mean promotion at work. There's lots of different definitions of yoga, to yoke, to join things together. But yin comes from the Daoist tradition. And it's one half of the yin and yang. You can see in the Taiji symbol here, the bright white swirl is the yang side, the dark black swirl is the yin side. And these are 2 parts of existence. They're both necessary for harmony and balance in the world. You can find those qualities everywhere. Even as you look right now inside, feeling the sensations that are arising in your body, you might notice there's qualities of yin and qualities of yang. Yang usually is an adjective that describes things that are hotter, brighter, higher, more superficial, more obvious, more masculine, more effortful. Yin, by contrast, refers to things that are cooler, lower, deeper, more mysterious, more hidden, more feminine, more allowing, more passive. If you look at the sensations that you're experiencing, you may notice these qualities as well. For example, take the most obvious sensation that you're experiencing right now. Where is it? Is it more on the surface of the body, which would make it more yang-like? Or is it deeper, more into the joints, which might make it a bit more yin-like? I invite you to come up a bit, come onto your hands. If you have a bolster, you can move it away for now. We're going to transition from child's pose into the frog. This is a lovely pose. Many people love doing the frog. Other people hate it. There's kind of a yin-yang relationship there too. So from here, walk your hands forward and then bring your hips so they're right above the line of the knees. Now, if this is uncomfortable for the knees, you can put some padding underneath it. Maybe grab a towel or a blanket, just so that's not on a hardwood floor. I've got a fairly thick carpet here, so that's supporting me. Also, when you're on something slippery, you can start to slide the knees further apart. Now you may start to feel that tugging between the inner legs that you perhaps weren't getting so much in the child's pose. Again, some people may feel stopped in the back of the hips. We'll talk about what's causing that in a moment. But try to get your legs sliding straight apart so your pubic bone is on the floor. So your pubic bone, that's the front part of your pelvis, is now touching the floor and you're nice and low. And for the track 3 students, remember track 3 are for people who are so flexible, they don't feel anything in these normal poses, not like us normal people. For the track 3 people, if you want, you can separate your feet as wide apart as the knees. But the intention is not to tear anything. If you hear a loud rip, hopefully that's your pants, not your inner groins. So just be aware there's a challenge. Remember, find that edge, but don't go past the edge. Don't go where it's too much. Now, some people in the frog, they really feel stuck here. What's happening is the back of the neck of the femur is kind of the thigh bone. The neck of the femur may impinge on the rim of the hip socket, right into the pelvis there. And for some people, if they keep the hips quite high, they get that kind of pinching sensation there. But if you allow the hips to come forward a bit, or if you move the hips backwards towards the feet, you might find you can actually separate the legs a little bit wider. You actually change where that compression point is in the hips. So if you're really feeling an uncomfortable stuckness in the hip socket there, it's okay to let the hips come a little bit more forward or a little bit back so that you can find that lovely stress in the inner groins. Now, again, if you want, you can rest your arms onto a bolster. If you had a big breakfast, it's not comfortable to have your belly on the floor if you're pregnant, or for any reason you don't want to stress the belly, then having a bolster under your arms or under your chest can be quite a nice alternative. So now we just hang out here because the magic ingredient in Yin Yoga is time. And while we're hanging out here, you can investigate those qualities of yin and yang. Again, in terms of location, where are you feeling the stress? Is it deep? Is it more yin-like? Or is it more superficial? Yang is also warmer, hotter, relative to yin, which is cooler. And this leads us to the belief that we should always do yin yoga when the body is cold. Well, there are no absolutes. Even within the white swirl of the yang fish, the yin yang symbol, there's a black dot. And within the black, dark yin swirl, there's a white dot. So nothing's absolutely yin or yang. If I was to ask you, is hot water yin or yang? You might say yang, but relative to boiling water, hot water is actually yin. So to say that we must do yin yoga when the body is cold is only approximately right. It depends. Cold relative to what? I suggested that it's okay to do the practice with layers on, with socks on. If you're so cold that it's not comfortable to do the practice, if you see your breath in the air, then you're not going to want to do the practice. So it's self-defeating. So you don't want to be super cold. You don't want to be super hot. You want to be kind of in that Goldilocks zone where there may still be a challenge, but it's not so challenging that you can't do the practice. Now I'm doing a lot of this talking right now just to distract you from how challenging some of these frog sensations are. But we're here for one more minute, if that's appropriate for you. Remember, you never need permission to come out of the pose. If you are pregnant, you should have already come out of the pose. For pregnant students, the intention of the practice is not to get more flexibility. You're going to become more flexible just from the fact that you got relaxin, this hormone that softens up the connective tissues, the fascia. The intention of your practice now is just to Work with the breath, learn how to be mindful, to calm down, not to really stretch out the tissues. So if you're pregnant, I would suggest holding the poses maybe half the time, 3 minutes might be a good maximum. Now for everyone else, let's slowly, and you probably don't have a choice, first come onto your elbows and then glide your knees together. That may take a few grunts or groans, and then sit back on your heels, resting your forehead, back to child's pose. Resting your forehead onto your hands or onto a bolster. Feel the echo of your frog. Noticing your breath. Just allowing the breath to be whatever it wants to be. It's natural that there's a sense of fragility when we finish a yin pose. We've asked a lot of the tissues. It takes a while for the tissues to start to shrink back to their original length and strength. Now let's slowly, which means not fast, let's slowly roll up to sitting. And if you're already up, that was not slow. That's actually what we call fast. And from here, we're going to transition to the next series of postures, which is variations on the shoelace. So from here, just slide onto your left buttock and bring the right foot all the way across the opposite knee. That's kind of a standard seated twist. Now, if sitting like this is not going to work for you, if you find you're lopsided, you can try sitting up on something. I find if I rotate the cushion 45 degrees, then I've got a nice line for the bottom leg. And I find I can keep that bottom leg in quite a bit. If the bottom knee doesn't like this, because you are externally rotating that bottom hip. And if your hips are tight, the torsion or the torque may go into that knee. So another option is to put a block or something underneath that knee. And if that doesn't work, if the knee still complains, then just do the half variation. Just have that bottom leg straight. So find the variation that works for you. They're going to add a twist here. We're going to let the hips just kind of marinate here. Use your elbow to hold the knee, and you just clasp the hand. And that gives a little stability. Sit up nice and tall, and then start to turn and look over your right shoulder. Now, if you've got a big belly, if you had a big meal, if you're pregnant, you may not want to turn in towards that right thigh. You can try turning the other way. And that way there's more space for the belly to turn. So you decide, if this just doesn't feel right, then turn the other way. Now for the track 1 students, those who are just getting into their flexibility, or people who don't really want to go too deep today, just stay here. The track 2 students, if it's available to you, holding that right thigh, see if you can bring your left elbow outside the knee and the right hand's on the floor behind you. You can stay here with the hand in the air or reach down and grab the ankle. And now you got more of a lever here to help turn you around. The track 3 students, very flexible. You tuck the arm underneath the leg, clasp the hands behind the back. But again, the intention is not to do the track 3 options. That's just for the people who can't get the stress unless they go deeper. So if you're already getting the stress just here in track 1, then stay here. Time is more important than intensity. I'll say that again. Time is more important than intensity. We want to be able to linger longer in the pose rather than go deeper. Going deeper is more yang-like. Lingering is yin-like. So one more breath here. If you are twisted, turn your head first, look forward, and then allow your whole body to windmill around to the other side. Just a little counter release here. Looking back to the front. So from this half twist alignment, we're going to come into more of a full shoelace. We're going to slide this right foot towards the left hip. Track 2 and 3 students, you can push your hands down to lift up and do the little wiggle, try to get the knees stacked on top of each other. Now, for many students, their thighs are bigger than normal or average. and they just can't get their legs adducted like this together. The body just hits the body. So if that's the case for you, it's okay to have the foot a little bit more forward, or even do this in square pose, just sitting cross-legged with the thighs more or less parallel to each other. You're still getting the external rotation at the hips. You're just losing the adduction. For the track 3 students who find this easy, you can bring the feet more forward until the shins are pointing straight out in front of you. Now, if this bothers the top knee, again, bring that foot a bit more forward or put some support between the knees. Now here we're going to add a side bend. We're going to bring the left hand up to the side, palm turns down, and then turn the palm to the back of the room. And if you can, keep turning the palm till it faces the ceiling. So we're internally rotating that arm. Bring it behind your back and wiggle the hand up between the shoulder blades. So eventually, if you keep doing this pose, there's no place on your body that you can't scratch in public. Your right hand now, you can bring to the side. And we'll let the fingers do the walking. We'll just lean to the side of it. To the degree it's possible, drop your right ear towards the right shoulder. You want to feel a nice, lovely stretch along the left side of the neck. Now, track 1 students, you may just have your arms straight. Track 2 students, you might want to rest your elbow onto a block. When the body feels support, you can relax. If you're hanging out in space, the muscles have to engage. So just get to the place where you can relax here. Track 3 students, you might rest your elbow right onto the floor. But again, that's not the intention of the pose. The intention of the pose is to get to where you feel something. Now the hips are just marinating quietly all by themselves. So now we're adding this upper body practice. And because the upper body tissues aren't as thick, not as deep as the hip sockets, we don't hold these poses as long. Lift your head up a little bit, turn your chin towards the shoulder. And release the back arm and bring it alongside your ear. You may notice how that changes the experience. You may feel less now in the neck, but more in the lower torso. These are the side stomach muscles, the obliques, internal, external obliques. Now see if you can soften here. Yin is softening, it's allowing. Yang is more muscular. So we want to reduce the muscular effort and just soften into the shape for maybe just 2 more breaths. And now looking down, let your right hand, the bottom hand, push into the floor, the top hand reaches up. You come all the way up. Last little variation, we're going to come into eagle arms. We're going to bring the left elbow under the right elbow, wrapping the arms together. Now this is an eagle because eagles soar. So lift the elbows up and push them away. And then you can either just stay here, track 1, this is good enough. Track 2, lean forward so you can rest your elbows in front of the knee. Track 3, you're more flexible, bring the elbows to the floor, turn your head to the left, and rest here. In this position, we're adding a deeper flexion for the hips. And because of the anatomical structure of the hips and the femur, most people find when they flex more, it takes stress out of the knees because there's more room for the femur to externally rotate. So there's less stress going into the knee. Maybe you can even wiggle the feet a bit further apart. And come up just an inch, release the arms to the floor, head bowing down to your own degree. Obviously, if you're pregnant, you're not going to push your stomach into your thigh. You can continue to sit tall. Or maybe you want to rest your head onto a block. Or you can rest your elbows onto a block and rest your head in your hands. Staying out here for about 30 seconds. Closing your eyes. Interiorize your awareness. Notice what you're feeling here. In the main targeted area, the hips, the legs. But since we are flexing, we're also getting a rounding for the spine. One more breath. And slowly, let's roll up to sitting. Pause here, sitting nice and tall. And one last variation here. The top leg, we're going to lift that foot up and we're going to send it way out to the side. Oh, that should feel good. There's that little groan. And before we fold over this leg in a half butterfly, this left leg has been externally rotated for quite a while. We're going to gently lean back and bring that foot behind us into a half frog. So now we're internally rotating that leg. We've already been asking a lot of abduction when we did the frog and child's pose before, so don't worry about that so much. You can keep the legs fairly close together. Turn and face that straight leg to your own degree. Walk your hands forward, bowing down over it. A nice tugging should now arise in the back of the leg. If your hamstrings are so tight, you're sitting up like this, and I said fold forward, and you say, I have, bend your knee. Put a block or some support under the knee, or even just your arms underneath the knee. With the knee bent, the hamstrings are released. Now you can bring the torso forward enough that you can round the body, let the head come towards the knee. Now, last week we did this pose and we stayed here for forever. Today we're only going to stay here for maybe a minute or two. This is kind of the end of the shoelace sequence. Track 2 and 3 students, the opposite hand can hold the foot, but you're not pulling. Again, it's not yang, there's no muscular effort here. It's just more of a relaxing, a resting here. While we hold here for one more minute, again, I invite you to explore the sensations. See if you can detect both the yin and the yang qualities. And again, they're always together. One of the ancient books of Daoist philosophy, the Tao Te Ching, the way of virtue. It talks about how every concept creates its complement. Existence and non-existence create each other. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult creates easy, long creates short, left creates right. So you can never find the yin and yang on their own. It's like looking for a north pole of a magnet without a south pole. They're always there. Every coin has two sides. So every yin has its yang. Let's slowly start to roll up. Again, which means not fast. Lean back, release both legs. Now that left leg is probably saying thank you. Pause here for a moment. You can lean back in your hands, close your eyes, or even lie down and just do a little Shavasana. Feeling the echo of that sequence. And we're going to rest here for a minute because I need that time to remember what we just did. I want to make sure we do the same thing on the other side. When we come out of the poses in yin, it's like somebody's just opened up the floodgates of a dam. The water, the energy has been dammed up for 5 minutes. Now you open it up and you can feel that flooding of energy into your tissues. That's that sense of release, fragility. Now we do have to do the other side, otherwise you'll walk with a limp for the rest of the day. So we're going to start leaning on our right buttock and bring the right foot underneath us and the left foot to the outside of the right knee. Again, good idea, especially for track 1 and 2, is sit on a cushion, rotate it 45 degrees here. If this is your funky knee, maybe your right hip is the tight hip, the right is the tight, then you can lift that bottom knee up, maybe put some support underneath it. The more flexed the hip is, again, the easier it is to externally rotate. And then we're going to come into a twist. You can either cradle the knee with the right elbow, turn and look over your shoulder, or eventually, you don't have to do it right away, but track 2 and 3, bring that backhand behind you. Don't be in a hurry to go into the deeper options. Give the body a chance to open. When you feel the body's open enough, then maybe you can try bring that elbow outside the thigh, reach down, grabbing the ankle or the shin, or binding the hands, bringing that right hand underneath the left leg. And sitting up tall with your inhale, as you exhale, let the chin glide over the shoulder. Close your eyes, Internalize your awareness. What are you feeling here? Where is the resistance? Or think of the little mantra, what's stopping me? Why can't I make my head go all the way around like Linda Blair? Why can't you do a 360? Who's Linda Blair? Ask your parents or their parents. Notice what happens when you breathe. Again, if you were pregnant, you would have gone to the other direction. Would be more opening for the belly. But if you've gone to the left, notice as you inhale, there's more compression in the belly. Notice as you exhale, there's a bit of a releasing. So in this way, we simply take what's available, riding the edges, never forcing. One last breath here. To come out, first start with the head, turn the head to the front, releasing the neck, and then windmill all the way around to the other side. Left hand behind you. So counter movement, and then release. We're going to tighten up our shoelace here because this is kind of an untied shoelace. We're going to draw that left foot more beside the right hip. Sometimes you get stuck here. So the track 2 and 3 students, if you push the hands down, lift the hips up, you can do the little wiggle, wobble, and sit down between the feet. Track 3 students are very externally rotated. You can bring the feet more forward. Again, for track 1 and 2 students who can't stay like this, there's just too much stress to the front knee. Options, lift that knee higher. Again, the more you flex the hip, the more room there is for external rotation. Or just do a version of a square pose. Just bring the feet out in front of you. So find the variation that works for you. And then again, we're going to add a side bend. So this time the right hand comes up, palm faces down. Turn the palm to the back of the room. This helps to pre-internally rotate the right arm. If you can, even turn the palm up towards the ceiling. Then we extend the arm backwards, bend the elbow. We're now adducting the arm, slide the hand up between the shoulder blades. Now the left hand to the side, to your own degree, let the left hand do the walking. Track 1, you can just lock the elbow, hang out here, dropping the left ear to the left shoulder. Track 2, maybe rest the elbow onto a block. Track 3, eventually the left arm might go to the floor. And the intention is to feel a nice tugging now on the right side. But for some people, they feel a compression on the left side. Compression arises when the body is hitting the body. Some people, they can side bend so much, their lower rib starts to pinch in into the lower abdomen, or may even start to impinge on the top of the pelvis. Once you start to reach compression, that's kind of the end of the game for that pose in that direction. You may still feel some residual tension on the opposite side. But the only way to get rid of that residual tension is to go deeper, but you can't go deeper because you're hitting yourself. That's okay, just stay where you're at, as long as it's not painful. The second stage is lift up a little bit, turn your chin towards the shoulder, release that back arm and bring it alongside the ear. Now you change where you're feeling that tension. It may not be so much in the right side of the neck, but you may get it more in the lower torso, even right down to where the IT band connects to the pelvis. A little caveat, anytime you have an arm over your head, if you start to feel tingling in the fingers, you may be compressing a blood vessel or compressing some nerves that go into the arm. If that's the case, it's better to not have the arm up there. Just keep the arm behind the back or even just in front of you. Find the place where you don't get the tingling. About 2 or 3 more breaths here. Close your eyes. Climb inside the experience. And then come out. The bottom hand, the left hand pushes down, the right hand reaches up, pulling you all the way up. For the eagle arms, right elbow under the left, and lift the arms up and push them away till you feel a lovely sort of spreading of the shoulder blades here. And track 1, just stay here. Track 2, maybe you can rest the elbows onto your knee. Track 3, coming further forward, Elbows toward the floor, turn your head to the right. Again, as you come forward, you're deepening the flexion of the hip socket, which gives more room for external rotation, and that may take more stress out of the knees. Again, if you've had a big meal, if you're pregnant, you're not going to come forward, you can still get the benefits just by staying here in the eagle arms. One more breath with the arms up here. And then inhale, come up a little bit, release the arms, and then again, fold down. Another 30 seconds or so. Close your eyes. There's yin and yang in everything. Think of that morning cup of coffee. It's hot. That's yang. But the coffee is black. That's yin. So there's no absolutes. Is there such a thing as hot yin? Can you do yin yoga in a hot room? Sure. Can you do yin yoga in a cold room? Sure, you can do yin yoga anywhere. There's no absolute, there's always a balance. In this book, the Tao Te Ching, in the second half of the book, it talks about how the Tao creates the one creates the two creates the three creates the many things. Let's slowly come on up. One more variation to do. We're going to pick up the left foot and we're going to stretch it out to the side, maybe with a bit of a groan. And we're going to switch the orientation of this right leg. Right now it's externally rotated. We're going to come into the half frog. So bring that foot behind you. And again, we don't have to separate the legs wide apart. You can have the legs a little bit closer together. We're going to turn and face the straight leg, and to your own degree, allow yourself to come forward. Again, most people are stopped by the hamstring here. So again, you can bend the knee, put a block underneath it, and that's going to allow you to come forward enough so that gravity will draw you down. So gravity is doing the work. You don't have to use the muscles. Track 2 and 3, if you want, you can rest the right hand on the left foot. But again, it's not a pulling. It's just helping to stretch you out of it. Come to that first edge. Become still. We're going to hold here for time. The Tao is the way. It's kind of like a universal laws of the universe. All the laws of physics, they're part of the Tao. That's just the way things are. That's the one. The one creates the two. The two are the yin and yang aspects of existence. Sometimes they're equated with the sky, heaven being yang, and the earth being yin. And when the heavens and the earth get together, it creates humans and other animals. And from that, from the three, come all the myriad things, the 10,000 ways. It's interesting that all the high cultures thought as the sky as masculine, as yang, and the earth, Mother Earth, the giver of life, as feminine. So the earth is yin, the sky is yang. And we're in the middle of that. Except for some reason in Egypt. In Egypt, they had that reversed. The sky, her name was Nut, and the earth was Geb. And every night, Nut would descend upon Geb. That would be darkness. And from that descending came her first 4 children: Osiris, Isis, Seth, Nephthys. Let's slowly start to come up. In all the other cultures, the sky is yang, it's masculine. Lean back with a groan, straighten that bent leg. Om. And then draw the other leg in. Pause here, just lean back, close your eyes. Enjoy this feeling. You can lie down if you like. You've worked for it, you've earned it, so enjoy it. Continue to notice what you're feeling here. Now we've prepared our hips and the legs for the pose du jour. We're going to visit the land of the dragons. There be dragons. Now, as always, there's going to be options and variations for everyone. Come onto all fours. And I'll let you decide which is your good hip. Which hip do you think is more open than the other hip? And if you're not sure, then it doesn't matter. Just step a foot forward. Come to all fours and step a foot forward. You might need to grunt to get it there. Walk that foot forward. And we're going to start with the baby dragon. Have the knee above the heel. And then we're going to bring that back leg further away. Most people have the back knee too close. Tuck the back toes under, slide the back knee away, just until you feel like, okay, that's it. I can feel a nice tension on the top of the back thigh. Now, some people, just because their proportions are different than others, they can't get their palms to the floor on the outside foot here. So if you need to, you can have blocks underneath the hand, underneath both hands. You're kind of leaning your chest onto the thigh. But for many people, that creates a very painful pinching sensation at the top of the hips. You might feel this too in child's pose. The way to get around that is to simply turn the leg outward. So if you're feeling that pinching sensation, turn the foot and the knee outward, and then you can slide the hips more inside the pelvis there. Just get to where you feel something. This is the baby dragon. We can just hang out here. But for some people, this baby dragon doesn't create much sensation for them. So for the track 2 and 3 students who need a bit more, bring that outside hand inside the front foot. Then walk the foot a few inches outward. So now your shoulders are above the hands. Now you can lean down onto this more. Or maybe you can bring your elbows onto blocks. Allow yourself to come a bit lower. The nice thing about these blocks is they have different height settings. So you can start with the high setting, and then after maybe 30 seconds, you can go to the medium setting. After another 30 seconds, you go to the low setting. The track 3 students, because you're so special, you can bring your elbows right to the floor. But again, we're not trying to be track 3. That's just a direction to move in. What we're trying to do is create a sensation. We want to feel that lovely tugging on the top of the back thigh, and maybe we're going to get something into the outside of that front hip. Now, if you're not feeling that front hip just yet, we have something special awaiting for you. It's called the winged dragon. So one more breath here in the low flying dragon. And walk your hands back up. Keeping your hand on the inside of that front foot, start to wing the knee out to the side a few times. So you're rolling onto the outer edge of the foot. This just lubricates the hip socket a bit. And when that knee is about as far to the side as it's going to go, notice how my knee is still in the air. I know you track 3 students, your knee's already on the floor, but we're not paying attention to you anymore. Just stay here, or again, maybe come onto the elbows or onto blocks. Now, hopefully you're feeling something here in the hip as well. Now, for the students who hate these poses, every time you see me guide you to a dragon, you can do the upside down version, like half happy baby. Just grab one foot, hold the foot either with a strap, or you can just take off your sock and use that as a belt or strap, and just allow the knee to come in towards the floor. So if dragons don't work for you, every time you hear dragon, do this version of the dragon. You won't get as much stress to the top of the thigh, but you'll still work the hip, which is kind of our primary targeted area today. So the good news is we only have 30 seconds to go. The bad news is we still have 30 seconds to go. See if you can soften into this. Hopefully you're feeling something. Om Namah Shivaya, say the yogis. That is the expression we use when we come out of the pose. So one more breath here. Pushing the floor away, slowly come up. Now, 2 options. You can step back to down dog. A lot of youngsters prefer that one. Or you can simply step this foot back and sit back in child's pose. So whether you're in child's pose or down dog, again, the little mantra is Om Namah Shivaya, which roughly translates into English as, thank you, Jesus. Please don't make me do that again. Well, we won't make you do that again on that side. So let's all come to child's pose for a moment. even those who are doing the down dog. Close your eyes. And to your eyes, your awareness. And for the rest of the class, I'm going to be less directive, less explanatory. I'll just guide you in and out of the poses. But I encourage you to journey inward. See if you notice both the yang and the yin qualities that arise during your practice. Finding the balance. One more breath here. And then slowly rolling up, we're going to come back to all fours. And remember which side you just did. We're not going to do the same side twice. That would be cruel and unusual punishment. So make sure you're stepping the other foot forward, again with a grunt, get that foot forward. And then if there's too much pressure on the back knee, slide that back knee away. You might need to do that a couple of times. And again, if this isn't working for you, you can always do the option of the upside down dragon, kind of the half happy baby. First stage, the baby dragon, hands on either side of the front foot, lean forward into this. If you get that pinching here in the inner thigh, turn the knee and the foot outward. Go around that point. And now I'll leave you in silence to marinate in this juicy dragon. Again, track 1 students, you can simply stay here. There's no need to go deeper. Track 2 and 3, bring the outside hand inside the front foot. Walk the foot a few inches outward. It's not the winged dragon yet. Just keep that knee up by the shoulder. And to your own degree, walk the hands forward. Maybe coming onto blocks, a bolster. Or track 3, elbows all the way to the floor. Hanging out here. If this is creating too much pressure on the back knee, you can take the pressure off by putting a block or support underneath the shin so the knee is floating. Or put some padding underneath the knee, towel or blanket folded up there. Some people also find if they bend the back leg, then the kneecap's not on the floor at all. Low flying dragon for a couple more breaths. And we can transition to the winged dragon, walking your hands back up. Keep the hand inside that front foot and start to wing the knee out to the side a few times, rolling onto the outer edge of the foot. And then when the knee is on the floor, yeah, right, that ain't gonna happen. When the knee is as close to the floor as it's gonna go, just stay there. So now this is quite deep. You don't have to come down lower if you don't want to. You're already stressing the targeted area, or elbows onto blocks, or elbows on the floor. About a minute here. And you don't need permission to come out early, but notice what you're feeling. Two more breaths. Ready for another Om Namah Shivaya moment? Lifting the chest, walk the hands back up. Now, if you're coming to down dog, tuck the back toes under, press the palms into the floor, and with a song in your heart and a smile on your lips, down dog or child's pose. Pausing wherever you are there. If you're doing the down dog, you can take your dog for a little walk. Let's all meet in child's pose. Your last child's pose of the day. So enjoy how this feels. Even though this whole practice is called Yin Yoga, there are some postures that are more yin-like than other postures. Child's pose is very yin-like. But some people don't even like this. Again, you can separate the knees wider. Dragons are more yang-like. A lot more intensity in the dragon pose. Now for child's pose, roll onto your backs. We're going to finish the journey today with some reclining twists. Now, if for any reason being on your back, this doesn't work for you, you can come back to sitting cross-legged and just do the twist sitting up. But if you're on your back, with the knees bent, again, think of your good hip. Bring that leg on top of the other leg. And then if you can, wrap the legs around each other. This is a more internal rotation. If you can't quite wrap the toes around the other leg, then just fake it. Keeping that top leg there, drop it to the other side. So if the right knee's on top, dropping the legs to the left. It's okay if the right shoulder comes up, let the knees come down, and then maybe extend the right arm out to the side like a lever. It'll help to pull you up. If your neck's okay, turn your head and look towards that top arm. Some people prefer blocks underneath the legs or the arm. Other people prefer a sandbag. You can put a sandbag on your shoulder or on that top hip, or you can use your opposite hand to hold that top leg. Close your eyes. Interiorize your awareness. Two caveats. If you start to feel lightheaded, dizzy, nauseous, don't turn your head. Just keep your head in the center or try turning your head the other direction. If you get tingling in the arms or the fingers, lower the arm or just rest your hand onto your ribcage. And with the eyes closed, just start to notice the experience. Notice how there's yin and yang in your breath. The inhale, yang, active. The exhale, yin, passive, allowing. Notice what happens as you happen to breathe. In the stillness, your mind may wander, and that's okay. That's what minds do. But every time you notice that you've wandered, come back. Noticing what happens when you happen to breathe. 2 more breaths. Ride your next inhale back to the center. Unwrap your roots. Pause there for a moment. If you like, you can straighten your legs. Enjoy the echo of the twist. And when you're ready, there's no rush to do the other side. Bending your knees. Make sure you're bringing the opposite knee over top. And whichever knee that is, drop both knees to the other side. So if your left knee is on top, drop both knees to the right. You can do a little wobbling back and forth for a moment. It's okay if the knees are on the ground and your shoulders floating. But if that feels too uncomfortable, put some support underneath the knees, a block, or some support, a blanket, maybe underneath the shoulder, or you can use sandbags on both. Turning your head to look towards the extended arm. But remember, if that creates any lightheadedness, dizziness, nausea, don't turn your head. If the extended arm feels tingling, then lower the arm, maybe even just rest the hand on the rib cage. And then close your eyes, interiorize your awareness. When your mind wanders, just gently guide your awareness back. We have 1 more minute here. And next inhale, roll back to the center. Either be still for a moment or hug the knees and circle the knees, or maybe do windshield wipers or moving whatever way your body's craving. And again, yin and yang are relative terms. On one level, we can think everything that we've just done over the last hour has been yang to our final pose, the yin of Shavasana. So prepare yourself for final relaxation. If you don't already have layers, put on layers. Try to keep the body warm, use a blanket, towel to cover you. Finding a place where you can relax. If lying on your back doesn't work for you, then try a different place, lying on your side. Some people prefer Shavasana with the legs up the wall. Another option is to have your knees bent with a bolster underneath the knees. When the knees are slightly bent, the hips are slightly flexed, and that tends to take stress out of the lower back. Arms can either be right beside you, palms up, or way out to the side, your choice. The chin in slightly maybe, so the neck is relaxed. And close your eyes. We're going to consciously relax the body. So begin with your awareness at your toes. And simply allow your toes to relax. Allow this to move along the arches of your feet to the ankles, relaxing your ankles. Notice your shins, your calf, relaxing, releasing. Relax your knees. Feel your knee joints softening. Guide your awareness through the thighs now, right to the hip sockets. Well, we did a lot of work today. On your next exhale, relax your hips. Allow the hips to open and release. Soften your inner groins. All those interior muscles letting go of tension. Become aware of your sacrum releasing into the earth. As you relax your back, your lower, your middle, and your upper back, melting into the earth. And relax your shoulders, your arms heavy, to your wrists and your palms, releasing tension. Allowing your fingers to curl and relax. Draw your awareness to your neck and throat, releasing. Relax the hinge of your jaw. Softening your lips and your tongue. Softening your cheeks and your eyes. Even relaxing your forehead and scalp. Notice how your whole body is let go of tension. At a deep unconscious level, with each soft exhale, you're becoming more and more relaxed. Unconsciously, every cell in your body is becoming healthier, younger, stronger, whole. This healing will continue beneath your awareness throughout the days and weeks to come. But all you remember is this feeling of deep peace. Allow the stillness to grow. Enjoy this. Enjoy being relaxed. And throughout the days ahead, enjoy being. Now slowly bring some movement to your fingers and your toes, circling your wrists, even circling your ankles, circling in both directions. We'll reawaken with a big stretching yawn. Bring the arms over your head, interlace the fingers and turn the palms away. Take a deep inhale and then stretch and reach and push and pull. And as you release, release to the left side. Use your bottom arm as a pillow. Pause here for a moment. Letting the energy settle once more. Rolling up to sitting. We'll finish the asana portion with a chanting of Om or simply humming. You can cover your heart with your hands. So we want to emphasize the rather than the O. Take a deep inhale. For those that are leaving us now, thank you for your attention and your intentions. Hope to see you again next time. For those staying for the meditation, let's go to it. Finding a comfortable sitting position. Usually it's cross-legged, although some people do like to sit Seja style, like we started the class today, sitting on your heels. Sitting up on something usually makes this a little bit more accessible. Take a moment to get grounded. Then from your floor, through your core, sit up nice and tall. The heart opens, the shoulders go back and down. The hands relaxed onto the thighs or folded into the lap. The chin in slightly, just so the ears are above the shoulders. Eyes either closed or cast down on the floor in front of you. And simply notice the breath by counting the breath. As you inhale, count 1. As you exhale, count 2. The next inhale is 3. We keep counting until we reach 10 and then start over. If you get lost or distracted, then simply start over. We have an intention to pay attention. Naturally, thoughts will come up and take us away. So really, the practice is one of returning to the breath, to this breath. Keep coming back to counting the breath. We're not trying to breathe in any particular way. Simply allow each breath to come and go. It's very yin-like, it's very allowing. But paying attention to the breath is very yang-like. Even here we find the balance of yin and yang in counting each breath. From time to time, check your posture. You can sit up a little bit taller. Relax the shoulders. Return to the breath, counting each breath. The practice is not just staying with the breath, but also returning to the breath when we've gone away. Come back and count your breaths. Now slowly open your eyes. Lean back to release the legs. Massage the knees and circle the ankles. Again, thank you for your attention, your intentions. Thank you for joining us this week. I hope to see you again next week. And for Karen and Natalie staying at Tracy's place in Tofino, enjoy your wonderfully wild and wet week. Till next time, skillful intention leads to skillful thinking, skillful action